Hello there guys, welcome to one of my live videos, and today I'm just be officially updating you on some more latest news. So just going to yet again, give my overarching view on Manchester United. So I do believe, Manchester United have had a fantastic start. Obviously, did well, throughout pre-season, of course, winning 6 games out of 6, scoring 12 goals and only conceding 3. And what a fantastic start, we've had to the Premier League season, with a 4-0 victory over Chelsea. But, I can see the vast improvements in Manchester United already, because I have been analysing my games. I do believe, we look much better in the attacking third of the pitch, and obviously we've now got that pace up front, and that's obviously something we lacked last season was that pace, and this is the main factor reason why last season wasn't scoring enough goals. Obviously this is why I wasn't ruthless enough in front of a goal, because obviously we lacked that current pace. But I do believe now we have got that pace up front. You've got Daniel James with electrifying pace. He's got electrifying pace as Daniel James. He's still a prospect and needs time to develop, and there's improvements needed in his game. But it was good to see Daniel James, score on his debut for Manchester United against Chelsea. Obviously we've got the likes of Martial and Rashford that have got a fantastic pace, and I think Martial and Rashford are going to really improve this season. They haven't quite emulated to that level as yet, but Rashford's developing well. Martial of course is developing really well, and we do know that Martial and Rashford can both play out wide. They can also play centrally, but I think this season Martial is going to be playing more centrally, because actually Martial has been given that number 9 shirt, and I think he seems to stand out in that central position, because that's where he seems to be more effective, and that obviously got proven throughout pre-season, and that obviously Rashford will probably mainly play out on the flank, but maybe in the odd couple of games he may get given the chance to currently play centrally. And we've also got likes of Mason Greenwood and Chong as well that are upcoming, so we do look much better now in that attacking third in the pitch, and I do believe this season we are going to score a lot more goals than what we did last season, because we only delivered 53 goals in the Premier League last season. We conceded 54 goals in the Premier League last season. That was our highest total of course in 40 years. But like I said, we've got quite a few upcoming players. We've got quite a few fringe players. We've got a lot of experienced players, but I do believe the majority of them will get given the opportunity this season. I think the young players were a fruition throughout pre-season, and I do believe they are going to be a fruition this season. Mason Greenwood, obviously he's been assured more playing time this season, of course, and obviously he's only 17 years of age, so obviously needs time to develop. Obviously you've got Chong, that's inexperienced at the moment, but I think he'll get given his chance this season. But these still problematic areas in the squad, obviously that I do need to be addressed, and obviously we need to see further more investment in January, and probably perhaps next summer, because I think the board have come to terms, and they've come to terms with the board, and I think they've realised that they didn't back Ole Gunnar Solskjaer enough throughout the course of the summer transfer window. Obviously this has been Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first summer as Manchester United manager, but the board didn't provide all the signings that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wanted to recommend in, and obviously the board have come to terms now with this, and in this the board did assure that there was going to be backing Ole Gunnar Solskjaer this summer. But I did say certain players at a certain calibre and level would have had reservations about joining the football club, because obviously we're not in a Champions League football for this season, and obviously it's hard to attract players to elite level, of course, when you're not in a Champions League football. And I think the players that we was in for throughout the course of the summer, I think we will revive our interest in them. So I think we'll go back in for Bruno Fernandes. I think maybe we'll go back in for Christian Eriksen. We may go back in for Paulo Dybala and that. But I did say it was going to be extremely difficult for us anyway, to address all the problematic areas in one summer transfer window, and that it was also going to be very difficult to do that. But Solskjaer gave his overall analysis throughout the course of the summer. He was impressed, he was delighted with our summer transfer business. We got 3 good players in, spent was it around £148 million and that, and I think they've done really well. I think Daniel James is going to succeed at Manchester United. I think Anwan Bissaka, he's going to succeed at Manchester United, because he's had a fantastic start to his Manchester United career, and I think he can be our fullback for the next decade. Obviously he's going to be our first choice right back this season, and we have got quite a few fullbacks. And also, Harry Maguire, he was fantastic on his debut against Chelsea and that. And, I think Harry Maguire is definitely going to succeed at Manchester United and that. And I've obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first choice centre-back partnership is obviously going to be Harry Maguire and Victor Lindelof. In the Premier League, maybe in the cup games, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, may rotate a little bit and that. But we have now got a lot of central defenders. So I think, we may orchestrate on selling at least one central defender. The likes of Small. Yeah. The likes of Chris Smalling and Phil Jones, they shouldn't really be at the football club now, because, you know, they're not really going to get given the opportunity. Obviously, you know, Smalling's been here 9 years, you know, Jones has been here 8 years. Obviously, you know, they have been 2 long-serving players at the football club, and I thought it was bad business, you know, last season for Manchester United, you know, giving them 2 new long-term contracts. Obviously, with Alex Tuanzebe, he's another centre-half we've got. You know, there's been the vast majority of Manchester United fans feel as though maybe we should loan a couple of upcoming players out, because maybe it would be beneficial for their future. Obviously, you know, it may gain them a bit more experience in that aspect, but I think, you know, Alex Tuanzebe is going to be staying at Manchester United for now at least, but obviously, you know, following the serious knee injury that Eric Bailly had sustained, because obviously, you know, Eric Bailly is out for up to 5 months. He's out until Christmas time, and we still do know how much of an imperative player that Eric Bailly is. He's a very imperative player, and he has got great potential, but I think his Manchester United career has been mainly affected, you know, with the amount of injuries he has sustained, and it's really taken its toll on Eric Bailly and all that, but still a very, very imperative player. You know, we have got the likes of Marcos Rojo, you know, don't forget. I think, you know, my overarching view on Marcos Rojo is he did really, really well, you know, throughout pre-season that, but I've got a strong element of concerns about him, because obviously he's injury prone, is Marcos Rojo. Obviously he doesn't really get in the team now anyway. You know, you can play him centrally, you can also play him on the left. Obviously there was a lot of reports emerging out saying that Everton were in for him, you know, back in was it on deadline day. Obviously we put a £25 million valuation on him. I think Everton also inquired about, you know, getting Chris Smalling and that. But yeah, we need to get rid of Marcos Rojo, because he's one of the problematic players at the football club. I think he's just got under 2 years left on his contract and all that as Rojo, and I think he's played about 72 or 73 games in the Premier League for Manchester United. I think we also need to get rid of Darmian, because he's one of the problematic players at the football club. With Darmian, you know, he hasn't really been given the chance as a Manchester United player, you know, let's be honest. Obviously, he's been at the club now over 4 years as Matteo Darmian. So I do believe, you know, there is more players that do need to be sold by Manchester United. I know since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's arrival, you know, 4 players have departed the football club. We know last week it got confirmed that Lukaku had left, and that was very, very good business for Manchester United. You know, we generated a substantial amount for his departure, and we basically recouped the money that we did pay for him from Everton a couple of years ago. Obviously now we're going to, you know, save that £70 million that we've, you know, generated from Lukaku's departure, and obviously we're going to spend that, you know, £70 million hopefully in the January transfer window. Some people said maybe we need a replacement for Lukaku, but actually Ole Gunnar Solskjaer explained why we didn't get that adequate replacement for Lukaku, because he obviously, you know, to prioritise the development of Mason Greenwood. But I think anyway we do look much better in that attacking third of the pitch. But yeah, you know, and obviously that's one of the players that's left in Solskjaer's arrival. Obviously Valencia left at the end of last season, I think it was. He served 10 years there with Manchester United. Obviously they didn't play the majority of the games last season, you know, through injury. Obviously, you know, Ander Herrera left. Obviously we do know Marino Fellaini left, but I do believe, you know, these more players that do need to be sold. And don't forget, we have got until the 2nd of September to negotiate the sale of players. But yeah, in that back line, I think we do look much better defensively, and we're not going to concede nowhere near the amount of goals, you know, that we did concede last season. That, because, you know, we have got that experienced centre half, and, you know, which is very, very good. Harry Maguire and Victor Lindelof, you know, are going to blend in, you know, fantastically well, as that got proven, you know, in the first game against Chelsea. You know, Harry Maguire is the best option than what we've got in our back line at the moment, because Harry Maguire is highly experienced, he's well Premier League proven. You know, he shows that ability to play out from the back. Like I said, his distribution is very, very good. He can bring the ball out from the back. Very, 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 very good in the end. Still got a hell of a lot of years ahead of him. And I think, you know, myself and the vast majority of Manchester United fans maybe believe that we did overpay for Harry Maguire just a little bit. You know, but it doesn't matter. I think he's a very, very good signing for Manchester United, is Harry Maguire. I think he actually, you know, got given the man of the match against Chelsea. Did Maguire. Maybe we did overpay for him, but I still think Maguire, reflecting what he did in his couple of years, you know, with Leicester before he came to Manchester United, I think he's regarded as one of the best centre-halves in the Premier League. He's not on Virgil van Dijk's calibre or level, nowhere near. You know, he's not really as good as Laporte, but I'd say he's in the top category. I think he's in the top 4, top 5 category. Definitely, you know, he's Harry Maguire in that. And hopefully, you know, Harry Maguire and Victor Lindelof, you know, can emulate into like a Vidic and Ferdinand, you know, because they were a great centre-back partnership, you know, under Alex Ferguson. And as you said, you know, before we got Harry Maguire in, that we didn't have a world-class central defender, you know, since we had the likes of Vidic and Ferdinand and that. But with Victor Lindelof, you know, I think he's flourishing at Manchester United. These questions amongst him, you know, can he keep the consistency? consistency up, and I believe Victor Lindelof, you know, is going to have a really good season this season. I think he's going to replicate what he did in his second season with Manchester United. You know, he wasn't really good in his first season, Victor Lindelof. He wasn't really good in his first season, let's be honest. You know, he struggled. You know, he lacked consistency, didn't really settle in, but I thought in his second season he was good. And so far, you know, throughout pre-season and the game against Chelsea, I thought Victor Lindelof, you know, did really, really well. So we do look much better now defensively, but I have got strong reservations about that midfield, and it's really concerning me, that midfield. And I'm obviously that when we got that experienced centre-half in, obviously it was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's priority, of course, to recommend at least one midfielder. And I wanted someone, obviously, you know, to play alongside Paul Pogba in that midfield. But that midfield, of course, is really, really concerning me now. But yeah, that was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's priority, you know, to get a midfielder in. But yeah, it does concern me, that midfield. I know we've got, obviously, you know, Paul Pogba in that. Obviously, you know, when Paul Pogba's at his best, he's one of the best midfielders in the world. He, of course, he's like two players in one is Paul Pogba. Obviously, we do know that his future, you know, still remains uncertain at the moment. And it was initially in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's plans anyway, you know, to build a side around Paul Pogba. But hopefully he can stay at the football club, and hopefully we've got to avoid, you know, him, you know, sustaining any kind of injury, you know, Paul Pogba, because he isn't really a backup there to Paul Pogba and that. But look at our other midfielders, you know, you've got Matic, you know, he's too inconsistent, you know, he's basically, you know, too slow, and he's aging up, and, you know, he isn't getting any younger than Nemanja Matic and that, and I've got a strong element of concerns about him. I think we need to get rid of him. People talk about, you know, that he's highly experienced, and he won the title, I think, once or twice, was it, with Chelsea and that, but that's not the point, and we have seen glimpses of how good he can be, and he has proven this at Manchester United, but I've got so many concerns about him, because I think he was the only player mainly that was disappointing throughout pre-season, and when he plays in that midfield, our midfield, of course, looks totally imbalanced and static, you know, and I think the likes of McTominay, Pereira and Fred, I'll give them the credit, you know, they are much better solutions than Nemanja Matic, because they're probably more mobile on the ball, you know, they're better on the ball and that, but I still have, you know, I'm still very sceptical about McTominay, Pereira and Fred, you know, if they are the long-term solutions for Manchester United, you know, can they succeed, you know, McTominay, Fred and Pereira. I don't know if they've got all the attributes to succeed, if I'm going to be quite honest here, but I do believe this season McTominay is going to get given more chances. Also, Pereira is going to get given more chances, and hopefully I think Fred's going to get given more chances than that. But I think they all did well throughout pre-season. I think my opinions on Fred, you know, he hasn't really performed to the same standard, same sort of level, you know, to as he did do, you know, when he was at Shakhtar Donetsk. Because to be fair to Fred, you know, he was an exceptional player there when he was at Shakhtar Donetsk, but he hasn't, for the majority of his tenure at Manchester United so far, you know, he hasn't really replicated this form, what he did at Shakhtar Donetsk. You know, he was good towards the back end of last season, you know, he did well, of course, throughout pre-season, but for me, Fred is a much better option than Nemanja Matic and that. But like I said, I've got concerns about that midfield, so in January, I think I've got to address the deficiencies in that midfield, and I initially said we needed at least one midfielder, maybe we need two midfielders. I think we need two midfielders, of course, if Paul Pogba, you know, departs the football club. But I was excited about the prospects of, you know, Bruno Fernandes, you know, playing alongside Pogba in our midfield, and, you know, we'll go back in for Bruno Fernandes in January, you know, without a shadow of a doubt. We could even go back in for Dybala, we could even go back in for Mandzukic, and that obviously we was seeing Mandzukic as a replacement for Romelu Lukaku. Obviously we did go in for Mandzukic, was it on deadline day, and I think it come out a week before, you know, deadline day, that, you know, was also in for Mandzukic. So there has been a hell of a lot of players on our agenda, but throughout the course of summer anyway, you know, there's been a lot of speculation about players coming in, and of course players going out and that. But like I said, you know, it's been revealed that we spent around £148 million this summer. But I do believe, you know, we're going to have a much better season this season, you know, which is very, very good news. You know, don't get me wrong, you know, analysing our squad at the moment, you know, it isn't good enough, you know, to win the league. And so I'm very sceptical about Manchester United winning the league this season. But I do believe our expectations, obviously, are going to be, you know, to finish in the top four this season. And probably maybe win some silver. And obviously, you know, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has got to exceed these expectations. But like I keep saying on my videos, you know, we have got big expectations for the future. And we've got, obviously, and then in the future, obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has got to exceed these expectations, and obviously the ambitions will be in the future is obviously, you know, get us back to winning silver. And I think this is obviously something that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to want to bring back to the club, and he's also, you know, going to want to bring that winning mentality to the club. Also, he's going to want to bring the correct philosophy to Manchester United. But I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's philosophy is Alex Ferguson's philosophy. So basically, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is following Alex Ferguson's philosophy in that. But like I said, you know, I haven't been really satisfied, you know, the way the club has been run in the last 6 or 7 years, because the board just haven't been backing our managers enough. Obviously the board haven't been backing our managers enough. Obviously, don't get me wrong, a hell of a lot of money has been invested into the football club over the years since Alex Ferguson's retirement. Like I did say, we spent just under £1 billion pounds, since Alex Ferguson retired. So we spent around £968 million. Obviously, this is Solskjaer's our fourth manager, since Alex Ferguson's retirement. Because obviously we've already had 3 managers since Ferguson's retirement that have been sacked. And like I did say, I hope it works out under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because we haven't got the structure, of course, to keep sacking managers, because we're a well-known club that's not known for sacking managers and that, but the boards are very, very strict now. But I think, regardless of what happens this season anyway, I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been assured he will not be sacked as Manchester United manager, because like I said, the board feels as though that they have admitted basically, they know that they haven't backed Ole Gunnar Solskjaer enough. I think, he will not get sacked this season, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, unless we're to finish near the relegation zone or finish mid-table. But apart from that, I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's job is safe for this season, which is very, very good news. But a hell of a lot of money has been invested into the football club, and analysing, the majority of this squad is not Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Don't forget, there's only 3 players there that he's recommending to the football club this summer, but there's still 11 players here from the Jose Mourinho era. We spent just under £400 million under the Jose Mourinho era. Obviously, there's still players here from Louis van Gaal era, don't forget. Some of them have left now. Obviously, we do know that there's, still matter here from the David Moyes era, and there's still players here from the Alex Ferguson era, and obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is inheriting all of them, so you can still say he's in the process of currently rebuilding his Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and that. But I hope to say he's the right man to succeed at Manchester United, and he has got the experience of a manager, not really to the highest level. Don't forget, Solskjaer proven himself, when he was the interim manager at Manchester United in his first 3 months with the football club. Don't forget, he did really, really well in his first 3 months in that. Obviously, he won a couple of Norwegian titles with Molde and that. He only had a short tenure with Cardiff, but it didn't really work out for Solskjaer at Cardiff, did it? Let's be honest. But I hope to say that he's got all the attributes and the stature to get us in that commanding position, where we do currently want to be in that. But for me, I definitely think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is the right man for Manchester United, because he knows the traditions of the club. He does know the club inside out. And don't forget, he was a great player for us for 11 years under Alex Ferguson and that. And yes, I do believe he can succeed at Manchester United against Solskjaer. And I think he had been given a substantial amount, throughout the course of the summer. He had been given a substantial amount and that. But obviously, just didn't get all the players, that he did, currently want in. But I do believe, we're going to have a much better season this season, because last season, was a huge disappointment. We finished 6th. Obviously, we failed to qualify for the Champions League. I actually think we've failed to qualify for the Champions League, 3 times out of the 6 seasons, since Alex Ferguson's retirement. So that just indicates how inconsistent, we have been in the last 5 or 6 years and that. And I've been frustrated, with the lack of investment in the last 6 years or so. We haven't really won much silver. We didn't win out, back under the David Moyes era. We didn't win out back under the David Moyes era. Obviously, we won the FA Cup under Louis van Gaal era. That was back in 2016. We won the Europa League and League Cup under the Jose Mourinho era, and that obviously that came in Jose Mourinho's first season. But I've already explained why it didn't work out under the managerial era since Ferguson's retirement. The managers have already been sacked. Obviously it didn't work out under David Moyes. Well, I don't think we really wanted to appoint David Moyes at the time, but we appointed him in because I think it was through Alex Ferguson. Obviously, they were both Scottish, and obviously, Alex Ferguson, recommended, David Moyes in. David Moyes only had a short tenure with the club anyway. I think he only had around, 8 or 9 months. I think we finished 7th under David Moyes era. I think that's actually, the lowest we've ever finished, for a lot of years anywhere. But it didn't work out under him. Under Louis van Gaal, he had that proven pedigree a bit to Louis van Gaal, because I think before he came to Manchester United, he did, quite well with Bayern Munich and that. But, I just don't think Van Gaal, had the correct philosophy at Manchester United, so it didn't really work out under him. And with Jose Mourinho, again, he had a proven pedigree. Obviously, he was regarded as one of the best managers in the world there was Jose Mourinho. And obviously, he won stuff everywhere he was, but it didn't work out under him. There's a couple of main factor reasons why it didn't work out under Jose Mourinho, because obviously, he had bad disputes with the board, he had bad disputes with the players, and then, you know, you come into the end of your tenure at the football club, basically. That's when he knew he was coming to an end of his tenure. Obviously, you know, the results weren't good enough. You know, we were playing too defensive under Mourinho. Obviously, you know, also the board weren't backing the signs that he wanted to recommend into the football club there last summer, and that because his priority last summer, of course, was to recommend a central defender. But he had bad disputes with the board, like I said. He had bad disputes with the players. You know, he didn't. You know, there was no real winning philosophy. You know, there was no sort of transfer strategy in that. So this is why it didn't work out under Jose Mourinho. But like I said, it's going to work out under Solskjaer. Hopefully, you know, I know it went wrong in the last couple of months of last season, because I did say last season when he did get the job permanently, you know, was it at the end of March, you know, we only won then 2 games out of 10, so he did currently all go wrong. But, you know, we've had a fantastic start to this season, and hopefully, you know, we can get the top 4. I'll be very, very happy, you know, with top 4 this season. Then I think, you know, our ambitions then will be probably, you know, to maybe win the Premier League next season, depending on if we can make any investment in January or maybe next summer and that. But definitely, you know, further more investment is definitely not needed in the squad and that. But yeah, a hell of a lot of money has been invested into the football club. I agree that, you know, we've overpaid for players in recent years, especially, you know, obviously we've got our list of our most expensive signings. You know, we've got, you know, Pogba, that's our most expensive signing for 89 million. You've got Harry Maguire, that's our second most expensive signing. Maybe we overpaid for him, but he's going to do well at Manchester United. Some people even thought we overpaid for Wan-Bissaka. I thought we got Wan-Bissaka for a reasonable figure, and, you know, it's going to prove, you know, that is worth it was worth the valuation of £50 million, you know, as, you know, continues as years go by. You know, he's going to prove that it was worth that £50 million figure, you know, and Wan-Bissaka. You know, obviously he's in our list of our most expensive signings. Obviously, you know, Lukaku's obviously on it now. Well, Lukaku's obviously, you know, been on it. I think he's the 3rd most expensive signing. Obviously, Fred's in that list of one of the most expensive signings. Obviously, you know, Di Maria is obviously, you know, one of our most expensive signings. You know, we paid just under £60 million for him, you know, back under the Louis van Gaal era. So we have spent a hell of a lot of money at the football club and that. But like I said, I think we'll get back to being a competitive elite level football club. But I just know that we're never going to be the team that was under Alex Ferguson, because obviously under Alex Ferguson, you know, we had, 26, 27 years of success. Obviously, it was really, really good under the Alex Ferguson era. You know, he was good at developing young players and that. You know, we always bossed the transfer market under Alex Ferguson, and we had great players under Alex Ferguson's generation and that. And just know for the fact that we're never going to be the team that was under Alex Ferguson. You know, no one's going to ever, you know, follow Alex Ferguson's legacy, and that's, of course, something that we have got to accept. I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, you know, can succeed and that at Manchester United, but still lots needs to be addressed in the squad. Was also actually, you know, in search for a right winner, you know, throughout the course of this summer. But obviously, you know, I was very sceptical from the beginning that Manchester United, of course, were going to get a right winner in. But I can see the vast improvements in the squad. We look much better defensively. We look better in that attacking third of the pitch. I think on that left-hand side as well, we look really, really good. You know, I always said initially anyway, we didn't really need to strengthen that left-hand side up, because you've got Luke Shaw. That's a very reliable left back. Obviously, he's our first choice left back. Is Luke Shaw. And I think reflecting on his impressive performances last season, you know, he did win the double player this season. Obviously, we've got Daniel James in anywhere. Obviously, you know, he primarily plays off the left, but can play on the right. Well, he can play on each flank, but Daniel James is supposed to be more effective from that left hand side and that. But like I said, you know, I was happy with the 3 players there that we got in, but I was just disappointed that we didn't make further more investment in that. But, you know, we can anyway, you know, spend big on players. You know, we can overpay in that, because obviously we're a rich club. You know, we're a massive club as well. You know, we've obviously you know, got massive revenues and that, and we can afford to, you know, spend big on players. We can also afford to give players big contracts, and we have now obviously, you know, got players on big contracts. Obviously, you know, we've got the likes of Pogba on 290 grand a week. We've got Sanchez, who obviously, you know, is the highest player in the football club. You know, he's on 400 grand a week, potentially rising up to 500 grand a week, you know, based on the image rights and the bonuses. Rashford, for 21 years of age, he's on 200 grand a week, potentially rising up to 300 grand a week reflecting on the bonuses. You've got De Gea, obviously he's agreed a 6-year contract with Manchester United, which is very, very good. I'm delighted about that, to be quite honest with you, because we know how imperative David De Gea is. He's signed a 6-year contract as David De Gea, but the contract hasn't been announced as yet, and I think he's going to be on around £375,000 a week. You know, obviously, yeah, we've got players on big contracts, you know, don't forget. But we are a big, massive club, and you know, we are one of the most successful clubs in England. You know, historically, obviously, you know, won 13 Premier Leagues. You know, obviously, you know, 20 all in all, and we're a really, really big club. And obviously, you know, one of our best achievements, obviously, you know, was obviously, you know, back in 1999, which was over 20 years ago now. So that's over 2 decades. Obviously, that was one of the treble in 1999. Was one of the club's greatest achievements. Also, a fantastic achievement was when we won 3 back-to-back Premier League titles. Back in 07, 08, and 09 and that. But like I said, I just want us to be back to being a competitive elite level of football club. But like I said, the squad's good, but it just isn't good enough to win the league. Obviously, we haven't won the league since 2013. Obviously, that came in Alex Ferguson's last season at the football club. So it's over 6 years ago now, since we last won the Premier League title. And but like I said, I think, I give you my predictions for this season. I think, City will definitely be up there. I think City probably will be regarded as the favourites to win it this season. Obviously, they'll be looking to retain it yet again. Obviously, they've already won 2 titles, back-to-back, so they're looking to win their 3rd league title in a row. Obviously, Liverpool definitely going to be up there. Obviously, I think Tottenham, could be up there. I don't think they'll win the league, but I think, reflecting on the amount of money they spent this summer, because they did really good business on deadline day, they should be up there challenging, Tottenham. And Tottenham have been in there, quite a few times. Arsenal, looking at it, should be challenging at least as well. I think Arsenal probably will finish in the top 4 this season because, they got quite a few good players in. Arsenal did better investment than us. Even Tottenham, did a better investment than us. But with Arsenal, I can't really understand it because, don't forget at the start of the summer, they only got a tight budget. I'm sure Arsenal only got around, 40 or is it £45 million to spend. So obviously, that's a tight budget in that. But, Arsenal's have been not very competitive in the last couple of windows, at least, until, the summer one. But they did really, really good business, throughout the course of the summer. So I will credit them in that aspect and that. But possibly, the likes of Tottenham and Arsenal could finish above Manchester United this season. That. But I think, we'll finish in the top 4 this season. That's my overarching view on it. That's me overarching view on it. But like I updated you on my video I did this morning, was it? Yeah, it was this morning, or was it this afternoon sometime? With Paul Pogba, I want us to keep him at the football club now, especially, reflecting on that, we didn't, obviously, get a midfielder in there that we wanted. We need to keep Paul Pogba at the football club. And I think Paul Pogba's come out and revealed that he still remains unsure about his Manchester United future. And he did initially say that, these are question mark that remains, regarding his future with Manchester United. But I think it's just recently come out saying that, we've got basically no intentions of selling Paul Pogba and that. Obviously, we actually was very adamant anyway, that he wasn't for sale. Obviously, we have, put £180 million price tag on him. Obviously, this is a figure that obviously, Real Madrid are unwilling to meet. Obviously, £180 million we're demanding. So obviously, we're demanding more than double than what we initially, paid for him from Juventus back in 2016. Because obviously, we paid £89 million for Paul Pogba, and he's of course our most expensive signing. He's still got 2 years left on his contract with Manchester United with an option to extend it by a further year, and of course he's on around 290 grand a week. But I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has spoken to the vast majority of our players this summer, especially Paul Pogba. He's spoken to Paul Pogba a lot, throughout pre-season. I think he was also talking about Paul Pogba a lot, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer deep down knows how much of an imperative player he is. But we do know for the entirety of this summer, Real Madrid have obviously been in for him, and his first choice preference, of course, has been Real Madrid, and his likely destination has been Real Madrid. Obviously, we at one point it said we wanted around £150 million. This is what we quoted out that we wanted, but now we probably want £180 million. So basically, we've priced him out of the market because we want to keep him at the football club. But Real Madrid, they've spent a substantial amount this summer. They've what. Real Madrid has spent, £300 million this summer on 5 players. Or is it over £300 million to spend? Don't get me wrong, Real Madrid have, generated some of the money back, from what they've spent this summer, because obviously, they sell quite a few players, and I think, they've generated around £100 million, and I think Real Madrid have, had negotiations with us about the sale of Paul Pogba and that, and I think, obviously, Christian Eriksen's been on Real Madrid's agenda, but and I think, Christian Eriksen's preference is a move to Real Madrid, but I think Real Madrid's first choice preference is actually, Paul Pogba ahead of Christian Eriksen. Probably Christian Eriksen will be a cheaper solution for Real Madrid than Paul Pogba. But yeah, we've said one around £180 million and that. Obviously, there's been talks about Paul Pogba as well, making a return back to Turin, because don't forget, he did have 4 good years in Turin and that, but hasn't really. All right. Hasn't really replicated,